Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Over the past few years, Triple H has been established as one of the major authority figures in WWE. He also has Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis as the general managers of Raw and SmackDown, respectively. If any star defies the rules, they are usually punished. However, Triple H might protect the four members of Bloodline 2.0, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu, from suspension despite a potential twist in tonight's edition of Raw. The potential twist could be the unexpected arrival of the Bloodline members during tonight's Raw, aiming to cost Jey Uso his Intercontinental Championship. The YEET Master will defend his IC title against Braun Breaker in tonight's Raw. The reason Solo Sikoa's faction is expected to interfere is that Jey refused to acknowledge Sikoa, which triggered him. As a punishment, Solo may cost Jey tonight's match to show him the consequences of not acknowledging him on SmackDown. Usually, when a superstar from one brand interferes in the matches of the opposite brand, especially in such a high-profile match, they get punished for breaking the rules. Nonetheless, the new Bloodline might avoid punishment and be protected by the Chief Content Officer. It's also probable that the reason Triple H might not allow Nick Aldis or Adam Pearce to punish the Bloodline could be due to orders from higher-ups offering special protection. The Rock could be behind this protection, as he is a member of the TKO board and holds significant power in television decision-making. With the assumption that the final boss is the mastermind behind Bloodline 2.0, there is a chance that they won't be punished for their actions. It remains to be seen how things will unfold in tonight's episode of Raw and what will happen when Jey Uso defends his IC title against Braun Breaker. Triple H could soon make his appearance on television. The King of Kings could appear on WWE TV, as Randy Orton may call him out soon. The Viper recently requested a match against Kevin Owens from Nick Aldis on SmackDown. However, after this request was rejected, Orton is set to confront Triple H by requesting a match against the prizefighter for Crown Jewel 2024. With this, the Cerebral Assassin could likely appear on an upcoming episode of SmackDown and engage in a segment with Randy Orton. A segment between Orton and Triple H could indeed be an exciting moment to watch, especially after Nick Aldis rejected Orton's plea, stating that higher authority didn't allow him to make the match. As tensions ran high on the road to WWE Survivor Series, the backstage scene was abuzz with chaos. A major incident involving four of WWE's top stars had occurred following a controversial confrontation at a live event. Triple H, the head of WWE Creative, now found himself in a difficult position: protect these stars from potential suspension or risk turning Raw into complete turmoil. The incident, a brewing rivalry, spills over. The incident occurred in the locker room after a live event in Cleveland. Seth Rollins, Rhea Ripley, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes were all involved in what had been described by insiders as a volatile exchange following a heated segment. It began when Rollins, already known for his intense personality, felt disrespected by Cody Rhodes during a promo. Although their on-screen rivalry had been strictly professional, it was no secret that Seth harbored real-life animosity toward Cody for his meteoric rise since returning to WWE. Rhea Ripley, whose dominant reign as Women's World Champion had her headlining multiple shows, got involved when Drew McIntyre, agitated by recent booking decisions, made an offhand comment that set her off. Rhea, never one to back down, escalated the situation by standing up to the towering Scotsman. Tempers flared, words were exchanged, and soon the confrontation became physical, forcing officials and fellow wrestlers to intervene. By the end of the night, news had leaked out to the press, with fans speculating that fines or even suspensions were on the horizon. However, suspending all four stars would be a massive blow to Raw's Survivor Series build-up, leaving Triple H with one of the most difficult decisions of his career. Triple H's dilemma. As the dust settled, Triple H found himself cornered by upper management and network executives demanding an explanation. The WWE Universe was already on edge, with Survivor Series looming large and Raw's main storylines hanging in the balance. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes were central to the world title picture, while Rhea Ripley was set to lead her team in a high-profile Survivor Series elimination match. Drew McIntyre, on the cusp of a potential heel turn, was integral to the ongoing power struggle between Raw's top faces and heels. The dilemma was clear: how could Triple H handle the situation without damaging Raw's product? Suspending all 4 stars would create massive voids in the roster, but doing nothing would set a dangerous precedent. Rumors had begun swirling that corporate executives were pushing for swift disciplinary action to maintain order backstage. A potential twist: the plan to protect the stars behind closed doors. Triple H gathered his creative team to brainstorm a solution. This was not just about preserving the Survivor Series storylines, it was about keeping the WWE locker room in check while maintaining the integrity of the product. Hunter knew he couldn't simply sweep the incident under the rug, but he also couldn't afford to lose his top stars for a month. That's when an idea hit him: what if the entire incident could be woven into the storylines, turning a real-life conflict into an angle that would captivate the audience? Triple H was no stranger to blending reality with fiction, having done so countless times during his in-ring career. If executed correctly, it could be a masterstroke that would allow the stars to avoid suspension while giving Raw an added layer of intensity heading into Survivor Series. The proposal: Survivor Series Chaos. Triple H presented his plan to Vince McMahon and WWE's board of directors. The proposal was risky, but it was rooted in WWE's long-standing tradition of using real-life events to fuel storyline drama. Rather than issue suspensions, the altercation would be addressed on screen, with Triple H himself stepping into a managerial role to maintain order. On the following Raw, the show would open with a tense, unscripted feeling segment where Triple H calls out all 4 stars to the ring. The tension between them would be palpable, with none of the 4 backing down from the real-life emotions that had sparked the confrontation. Triple H would play the authority figure, demanding accountability from each of them. But instead of delivering punishments, he'd reveal a shocking twist: all 4 would be forced to team together at Survivor Series in a high-stakes match against a team of their choosing. This twist would serve 2 purposes: it would channel their real-life animosity into a controlled storyline while also protecting the long-term booking of Raw. The match would be billed as the most combustible Survivor Series team ever, with Triple H warning that if they couldn't work together, serious consequences would follow. This would give the stars a chance to vent their frustrations in the ring, under the guise of competition, rather than risk further backstage incidents. The fallout: Raw explodes. As Raw unfolded, the tension between the 4 superstars began to escalate. In backstage interviews, Seth Rollins openly expressed his disdain for Cody, claiming that the American Nightmare had been handed opportunities on a silver platter. Cody, ever the diplomat, tried to remain calm but hinted that he wouldn't be intimidated by Rollins. Meanwhile, Drew McIntyre's character became increasingly unhinged, teasing a heel turn as he claimed that he was sick of being overlooked and that both Rollins and Rhodes were in for a rude awakening at Survivor Series. Rhea Ripley, despite her usual confidence, seemed rattled by the situation, knowing that being paired with McIntyre, who had disrespected her, would be a major test of her own leadership abilities. The locker room buzzed with speculation about whether the team would implode before they even made it to the pay-per-view. In the weeks leading up to Survivor Series, Triple H booked a series of tag matches involving various combinations of the 4, but the results were disastrous. Miscommunication, cheap shots, and blatant betrayals led to multiple losses, further fueling speculation that Triple H's plan would backfire. Fans were glued to their screens, wondering how this combustible situation would resolve itself. Survivor Series Showdown, the ultimate test. Finally, Survivor Series arrived, and all eyes were on the match that had become the focal point of the entire pay-per-view. As the 4 reluctant teammates made their entrances, the tension was electric. No one knew if they could coexist, and even Triple H, watching from backstage, seemed unsure if his gamble would pay off. As the bell rang, chaos immediately ensued. Rollins and Rhodes found themselves at odds, refusing to tag each other in, while McIntyre and Ripley had their own internal struggle. However, as the match wore on, something unexpected happened: an unspoken understanding began to form between them. Fueled by their shared desire to win and prove their dominance, the four stars gradually began working together, their egos temporarily set aside. The match ended in victory, but the tension between them remained, setting the stage for even more explosive confrontations in the weeks to come. In the end, Triple H's gamble had paid off. He had protected his top stars from suspension, salvaged Raw's biggest storylines, and created a compelling narrative that would carry the company through one of the most tumultuous Survivor Series seasons in recent memory.